Windshield Time. I'm going to take a couple minutes while I'm tooling down the road today, and I'm going to discuss something that is a problem that's often presented to me, and I talk to people about it. But yesterday I had my headspace and timing reset on this exact problem that happened to me. I have predominantly been an appendix carry guy for several years now. For me, it is a more secure, faster, more socially acceptable. When I say that, it's when people give me bro hugs, or I brush by somebody and nobody feels this Glock 17 on the side of my hip, and then there's that uncomfortable stare of whatever's going on. Most people that know me know that I've got a gun on me, so it's but every now and again there's some sort of weird little social incident. But so appendix for me is what works, and I will say that appendix for anybody can work as long as you are you're cognizant of your reholstering. That's where most of that stuff comes from. Get good training on it, somebody that's versed in it. Reholstering is where if you're going to have an issue, you'll have it during reholstering, but as long as you do it right, and you're cognizant about what you're doing, you're not going to have an issue. So appendix carry is another video. But yesterday morning I had a meeting that I needed to go to, and I deemed that it was going to be something I needed to be a little more dressed up for. Collared shirt, sport coat, tucked in shirt, belt, the whole deal, and which meant that instead of tucking everything and wearing an appendix with like a tucked Idolin or a Vanguard or something like that, I said, you know what, I can be sentimental sometimes. Yesterday, if the meeting was going to go well, it was going to be a kind of a big deal for me. So I wore a sentimental setup. It was a Victory Aegis belt that was given to me by a buddy of mine who I stood at his wedding. He knew what a Victory Aegis meant to me, and he had a Proverbs Bible verse stamped on the inside when Gene sent it to me. Gorgeous belt. Obviously, it's a Victory Aegis belt. Love it. It's a Browning high power that another good buddy of mine, Freddie Blish, who works up at Robar. They reworked this old tired high power, which I love high powers. Reworked it, gorgeous piece of work. As Masad Ayub would call it, it's a Sunday barbecue gun. I carry it sometimes, but not always. And it was I wrapped it in a custom leather holster that Jay, another good buddy of mine, a rancher up in South Dakota, does leather work during calving season. Bangs out a beautiful holster for me. And it was for this high power. So to me, it's a piece of art, and it's something that means a lot to me. So I was like, you know what? Kind of a big deal for this meeting. I'm gonna wear my special gun and in my special holster, and wear a sexy belt for it. So I did all that, which meant that I was gonna shift my carry from just off center and appendix back to strong side, which is something that I generally don't do a whole lot anymore. When I was a cop, obviously I carried strong side, but it's a whole different ball game when it's a sand brown and it's outside in a duty rig. But even off-duty stuff and UC stuff and all that was generally strong side. But it's been years since I've carried one there in an outside the waistband holster. So I get all gussied up, headed off to the meeting. I'm on the road for about 15-20 minutes, and I find myself wiggling around in a seat, trying to adjust all stuff. And I remember thinking into myself, almost vocally, saying, "Damn, this is friggin' uncomfortable," which is something that I get often from people that have made that decision they're going to carry a gun. We work through what gun, what holster, all that stuff, and how they're going to carry it, what position they're going to carry it in, and they call me a day or two later like, "Nah, I don't think I can do this. This is uncomfortable." And I had my headspace and timing reset yesterday because I went through that same exact, this is not to the point where I wanted to take it off, because it's a gun and I need it. It's my, that's my whoopee. It's got to be with me no matter what. So it's, reset my thinking. Now I have felt what other people are saying when they call me, because I have not felt that way in such a long period of time. So it's uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable when you try a new position, specifically somebody is going from one position to another, maybe strong side to appendix, or vice versa like I did yesterday. It is uncomfortable for a little while. It's like being on the road for a long period of time, not getting a chance to do laundry, so you go to Walmart and buy a 3-pack of underwear. You wake up in the morning, put on a new pair of underwear, and it sucks. it's scratchy, it's uncomfortable, but by lunchtime, maybe after lunch, you're like, nah, that's not so bad. I forgot that it's a new pair of underwear. So it's that kind of uncomfortable, uneasy feeling. If I handed you a big box of money, $5 million in $1 bills, it would be uncomfortable to hold it, but you'd want to hold on to it, right? Because it's a lot of money. That gun is your life safety blanket. It's what you're going to use to protect yourself. So it'll be uncomfortable for a little bit, but you'll get through it. It's something that you need to stick with. I was talking to a very good buddy of mine just over the weekend. He stopped by the house and he's like, hey, I was wearing an Eidolon. I'm really trying to work on this thing, and it was uncomfortable at first, and I was squatting and trying to kind of figure out where it was going to be. I'd sit at my desk and I was driving. But over a very short period of time, he said, it got to the point where I got up and left my desk, walking down the hallway, and I forgot I had a gun on. And it's almost like the clouds part and the light beams shine down and the angels sing when you finally get to the point where you can put it on. There's been times where I have been in a rush trying to get the kids out of the house or whatever else, and I walk out and I'm driving on the driveway or driving down the road, and I'm like, daggone, I don't even have a gun on, because I have gotten to the point where I almost consciously have to stop and think, hey, do I have everything? I got my wallet, I got my keys, and for the most part I have a gun on when I'm at the house. But early in the morning, get everybody up running around, before I go in and put my belt on and put my gun on, sometimes sorry, I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm a dad. There's a lot of stuff going on. I got kids. There's, sometimes I'll forget about it. So it's to the point where I am so comfortable carrying a Glock 17 in an appendix fashion that sometimes I forget that it's there. Or if I'm doing something around the house, or I'm going out to take care of the horses or do something just in short vicinity of the house, that I have to stop and think about, hey, do I have that? So it's uncomfortable. I'm not going to tell you that it's not going to be uncomfortable, but it's something that you have to stick with. You got to work with it, and in short order, you'll be at a comfort level where you won't have to worry about it. But I encourage you to stick with it. I'm actually happy that happened to me yesterday. But like I said, my headspace and timing has been reset now. I can reach back, and that's just another little nugget of experience. Like say, I just had something like that happen to me recently, where I had to work through carrying a gun in a different fashion. So I know exactly what you're talking about. But I want you to stick with it. If you can legally carry a gun, as crazy as the world's getting, I strongly encourage you to carry it. And I've gotten hacked on for this before in articles that I've written. But if you can legally carry a gun and you don't carry it when you lawfully can, then you're just being lazy. And if you're one of those people right now who are staring at the computer like, oh, who are you to call me lazy? Stop and think about it. The reason you didn't put it on when you can legally carry it is because it was a little uncomfortable, or it didn't fit that outfit that I was wearing or whatever else. And if you're a cop and you're not carrying one off duty, come on. Really, you should be. And I know cops that drive cruisers off duty and don't have a gun on. That's flat ridiculous with a capital R right there. So think about what you're doing. Stick with your carry mode. If it doesn't work, adjust something. The Eidolon that I currently carry is a G17 double tall model, and it is something that, even though I helped with the production and the design and wringing those things out, it was months before I finally found the configuration that I was like, you know what, I'm down with this. This is really going to work. And it was something where I figured out that I had to move the struts down a little bit. That raised the gun up in my waistband, and I'd put another overhook on it. So I run double overhooks, which solidified right there. Done deal. I will never go back to wearing an Eidolon with a single overhook, just because that gives me such a consistent platform. The gun sits the same way, same angle, same depth every single time. My split times go up. I can get to the gun faster, which means that I can, if I need to, I can let somebody hold a few if I need to. And whoever wins in a gunfight is the one who puts the other guy down quicker. So it's split times, they mean something. So consistency is where you're going to get that, but stick with your carry mode. Work with it. Don't get frustrated. Don't give up. I encourage you to, if you have questions, send me a Facebook message, send me an email, send me whatever else. When I get a chance, I'll get back to you. But I would encourage you, and I will do whatever I can to try and walk you down that path and guide you to make sure you get to a comfortable spot where you can do that. Other than that, just stick with it. It's like a new pair of underwear. Sooner or later, you'll get comfortable with it, and it'll just be like the old pair. So, train smart, train often, victory first, and take care.